Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the first actual bonus episode that we're going to be doing. It's going to be regarding how to anchor. So, I have a little bit of a different vision than the standard one for anchoring. So, without further ado, let me show you what it's about. Okay, so what are anchors? Anchors are the last line of defense on the defender's side of the game. For me, there's two different types of anchoring. There's the vanilla one, which is usually the free armor operators that are basically stuck on site. They are the ones that are most commonly used for this. And on the other hand, I have what I call extended anchoring, and those are operators which are very close to the site in very close proximity so they can return to site if things are getting more heated, if things are getting under fire on site. As the classical defender, you do not want to be aggressive. You want the attackers to peek you. You want them to get into frames or crossfires or anything that is going to get you in a better position, because the attackers generally have better weapons than the defenders. So we want as a defender to be in such a spot where we are at the advantage compared to the attacker. So never play aggressive as a defender, which is anchoring. You always want to be the more passive one. You want to waste as much time and utility as possible to the attackers and make it as hard for them to breach the side as possible. The most common operators you're going to see on defense for anchoring are usually like smoke, mute, a castle, a maestro, mira, echo, Cade, a Goyo, maybe a Malusi from time to time. Those are the most commonly picked ones for anchors. The best thing you can do is start with one of these operators and learn how to do and play them in their utility the best way so you can properly help your team in situations and different maps and different sites. My advice is honestly to explore all the operators and their utility and to see some of the generally good spots that you can place utility on and how you can deny utility. For example, with mute, mute is a fantastic defender to deny utility with. The proper job of the anchor is to not let the attackers plant the diffuser or wipe out your entire team. Of course, there's going to be a fair amount of people that are going to be anchoring or people that are going to be roaming, but as the roamer, you want to be, as I said in the beginning, the last line of defense to the site. You're definitely not going to get a lot of the action in the first beginning of the round. Approximately maybe the first minute and a half to 2 minutes is the time you're definitely going to be sitting, just holding an angle, listening for sound cues, or watching cams until the attackers actually reach you because they have wiped out the remaining or all of the roamings that are on the map. One thing I suggest is to always open rotates for yourself. You always want to be a little bit more mobile, because if you are literally the last line of defense, if you're in a 1vx situation, you want to be able to be unpredictable. You want to score a kill somewhere and then move out without having to worry that you're going to get stuck and somewhere that you're just going to get flooded with the enemy players and you're not going to have any way to get out of this mess. So what I'd like to do is just find some good rotations, just go in a custom game, open any map and start opening. Make even the common rotates, just try to be as unpredictable as possible. Score a kill at one place and try to move if possible if there's no enemy engaging you from another side. One of my favorite flex operators that I like to use as an anchor is Legion, for the sole reason that you can put his goo mines basically anywhere that the attacker can come from. It could be a doorway, it could be a window. This is giving you free information of where the push is going to be from, and it's going to give you a heads up and be prepared to engage those gunfights. Also, fantastic thing to do is learn how to bandit trick. Bandit tricking is a very common thing to do. It's not too complex, but it could literally be a difference between losing and winning the round if you can properly bandit trick. And if somebody is also watching you, so you're not getting pushed and you can focus solely on the bandit trick, that's going to make your job even easier as a defender. Okay, so this is where extended roaming comes into play. Some of you may know it as lurking. As I said in the beginning, this is a operator which is a very close proximity to the site. For example, I like to use two speed operators for this because usually the free speed operators are the ones that are roaming. So this could be a Valkyrie, a Legion, maybe a Lucy, also a Rooney. Those are some very good ones that you can use for extended roaming. Any entry denial or information denial, also information use operator, is a good to have in this case for extended roaming. Also, what you can do is basically help out any roamer that is maybe in a tight spot. For example, if he's being tracked by Jack or heavily pushed from somewhere, you can just help him out and go back to site. Valkyrie is my personal favorite flex operator that I like to use for both roaming and for extended anchoring, for the sole reason that you can put cams in very nice positions to give you information about the attackers pushing anywhere close to the site. I suggest with Valkyrie to always focus to put the cams somewhere that is below or above the usual line of sight. Also, when you're trying to put basically any trap or entry denial or information gathering gadget, you always want to think about where exactly would I never look. And those are probably the best spots to go and throw a cam at, or put a goo mine or Grishmon, anything to give you that little bit of an edge over the attacker. The best thing about both types of anchoring is you don't really need to know the map or the callouts if you're new to the game. I do kindly suggest that you start with anchoring as your first role to learn because it is essential and it's probably one of the easiest ones to do and get used to. Um, One of the fantastic things you can do is literally get on the cams, see where the attackers is spawning from. If you don't know a call out of where the site is or where they're spawning at, just use the compass. You can find it on the bottom right of the screen. It's a very handy tool to use. You can do that in the first like 20 to 30 seconds into the round. This is always going to give you a better advantage, better knowledge of where you're going to get pushed. It's also giving you, your teammates, when you call it out, that they're spawning east, northwest, or whatever. um, it's going to give you a little bit of a better chance to withstand the attack. As an extended roamer, you want to be very mobile. As I already mentioned, you want to have as much rotation, as much free space that you could use as possible. You want to be literally the wind. You want to be one place at one point and the other place at the other when engaging gunfights. You want to be double the unpredictable that a classical roamer is. Because if you are, uh, let's say, in a 2v3 or 5 situation, and there's one person that is stuck on site somewhere around the bombs, you are the person that is going to have to draw the attention away from them. This way, as I said, you don't want to be too aggressive, but you want to be very cheeky and very unpredictable. You want to shoot. If you miss by any chance, it's all right. It's not a problem. You just want to switch up the positions. Don't always go for the kill. The most important part is to definitely not chase a downed operator. And 1vx 2vx situation, you always want to focus on the site, the diffuser, because if the diffuser goes down, the chances of the attackers winning the round is a lot bigger. Remember one thing: as a defender, the time is clicking in your favor, not in the attacker's favor. You could literally win a game just by downing the planter, and if the timer goes down, the defense is winning and the attackers are losing. It doesn't matter if they have the man advantage. So you always want to play with the time in mind. The time is your ally, not your enemy. It's the attacker's enemy. This is why they are always under pressure, and this is why you always want to keep the pressure up so you can keep giving them less and less opportunities to strike you and more opportunities to mess up. You always want to keep the attacker guessing. You want to get them into a position where they're going to wonder where you are, what are you doing, and into a spot where you're going to have the gunfight advantage over them because their weapons, as I say again, are a lot better. For me, what differentiates a good anchor and a great anchor is creativity. So don't stop with just the common rotation that you've ever seen from other players. Don't stop with just the basics. You try to extend yourself. The best way for me was to learn in custom games, because in custom games you can open the whole map, you have time for yourself, and you can see some spots where you've never seen before, never heard before, which could be very useful in your gameplay to outsmart the attackers and to always have the edge over their weapons, over their utility, and over the clock. Thank you for joining me, ladies and gentlemen, in this first bonus episode. We are going to evolve anchoring in the future. I'm going to touch upon this topic again when the time is coming. With the better ranks, with the higher ranks, we're going to have different types of anchoring, different types of things that we have to do. So, thank you again very much. I hope you enjoyed it. Please leave any type of comment, question, anything that's going to be helpful. I would really accept and highly appreciate the feedback and the constructive criticism. So don't hesitate to ask me and leave any type of information down in the comment section. I really appreciate it. Peace out. Stay safe.